Digital modes. Okay, frequency shift keying and FSK modes. Here we go. 2 tones, right? I can't.
There's 3 or 4 in
Yeah. I don't know. Multiple frequency shift keying. All right.
It can stack tones.
MFSK 16. Oh, 16 tones. My bad. Oh, multiple frequency shift. 16 tones, 15.625 hertz apart. Data rate 63 bit per second or 42 words a minute. Bandwidth is 316 hertz approximately, which is very narrow. Very narrow. Good weak signal performance. MT63 uses 64 tones to modulate the signal. MT stands for multi-tone. Bandwidth is 1 kilohertz. It's still narrow. How wide is an FM signal? All right, okay.
CW. How wide is a CW signal?
The filter is 500,
Yeah.
so it's narrower than that. It's very narrow is the point. AM signal is 6 almost. Sideband is 2.8, 2.4-ish. Kilohertz, 1,000 hertz. 2.4 kilohertz, and this is 1 kilohertz. So of a
So
sideband.
bandwidth is a very important, in case you haven't caught on yet, bandwidth is an important article we do.
And the busier it is, the narrower your signal you can get, the more likely you are to find a place where you can stuff the signal through. It includes extensive error correction, so all of the mistakes that are made because of noise or lightning strike or whatever, they can get fixed. Radio teletype RTTY, frequency shift keying. For RTTY, the normal shift is 170 hertz in yellow. Baudot code, character combinations of 5 bits each. Each element is 1 data bit, maximum 32 characters. LTRS and FIGS shift codes, start and stop bits frame each character, but that's all black. Normal shift for radio teletype is 170 hertz. PSK 31. There we go. Can you even hear modulation in there?
Yep.
Just barely, right? But the computer can read that. It's designed for keyboard-to-keyboard communication. So this one is like the old AOL where you could type, and the guy on the other end can watch your horrible typing, and then your backspacing to fix it, and all that. After RTTY, it's the most popular digital mode. Is RTTY still popular, or is this just ancient text?
Well, RTTY is still in use. Is it
It's in
popular?
use.
I don't know.
I don't think it's popular. I think the WSJT is probably the most popular. PSK 31, GL, okay. Where's he from? Nobody but our students. Where's he from? Okay. G3PLX developed PSK 31 for keyboard-to-keyboard communications. 31 is the data rate, 31.25, 31 and a quarter baud, which is slow. But there's no black, or no red there, yellow there.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, there it is. It's the 31 in the name. So PSK 31 is 31 something baud. Uses variable length code or varicode. Varicode is variable length code. Number of bits per character varies. The uppercase uses longer varicode and slows transmission rates. That's probably on purpose so that people can't yell at each other as easily over the airwaves, right? I never understood that. Okay, uppercase uses longer varicode and slows the transmission rates. Most common characters have the shortest code. Uses 00 as a separator between characters. Most PSK operations, 31 operations, are commonly found in the 20-meter band below the RTTY segment near 14070. Bandwidth is 37.5, still narrow. Narrowest of all HF digital modes, including CW. So this is the one that will spit it through that little tiny hole. Now, on the other hand, be careful. Got your antenna pointed in outer space, it's going to keep trucking. And we don't want them to find out that there's tasty bags of illicit water here. Trekkies. QPSK 31, it's in yellow. So they're going to ask you some questions about it.
And this is so esoteric you are never going to see it, you're never going to hear it, but it's on the test.
Yeah. So modulation in which digital data is transmitting using 0, 90, 180, and 270 degrees of phase shift to represent pairs of bits. Cue PSK31.
And the problem here, if you just look at the way this is phrased, how precise does that have to be to perform communications? That thing is just nuts.
Olivia. Whistling at us. That's Olivia. Packet is popular on VHF, UHF. I've never heard it on VHF or UHF.
Nor have I.
On HF, the data rate is limited to 300 baud. So you're back to 1988 and earlier speeds. Not very effective on HF. Higher noise, low data rate. Now, does that mean that on VHF, UHF, you can go however fast you want? I don't know. Packet nodes, packet basics. So the data to be sent is divided into chunks. That's a packet. And control and status information is added before and after each chunk. So the packet is, there's the data, and there's some stuff in the front and some stuff in the back. And we're going to have names for those. Each packet contains a header, that's in the front, that contains the call sign of the station to which the information is being sent. So the station can go, oh, that's for me. I'm sending something to Dave. Dave's got to know it's for him. A checksum that permits error detection. So a checksum is it somehow it looks at all the symbols and does a mathematical calculation and says the checksum is this. And if the checksum doesn't match, hey, I need to send that again. An automatic repeat request in case of errors because the checksum didn't match. Hey, send it again. Each packet, a header, a checksum, and an automatic repeat request on packet modes. Basics, error detection, cyclic redundancy check, I don't know, CRC, black. A number calculated from all the other bytes in the packet, which is appended to the end of the packet, which sounds to me like
And CRC is
checksum.
essentially another way to say checksum. Yeah.
Receiving system can calculate the CRC of the incoming packet, and if they don't match, ask the packet to be sent again. Forward error correction, okay, so this is really cool. FEC, additional and redundant information is added to each packet to help the receiving system reconstruct the packet if the CRC fails. So if the checksum's wrong, it can go, oh wait, hey, let's look at that extra data they sent, apply it to the packet. Oh, there's the error, we can fix that. Oh look, now the checksum works.
Without requesting a reset.
Without having Dave send it to me again. That's pretty slick. It's yellow. It is a question. Forward error correction is redundant information added to packets so it can be fixed.
And it's real simple. It just simply allows the receiving station to fix errors in the system.
Right. Instead of having to go, hey, send it again, hey, send it. So he sends it once and I'm done. As opposed to he sends it, I go, oh, that's wrong. Hey, send it back, and he sends it again.
And then I send it again because it's still wrong, and then I send it again because it's still wrong.
Right.
Atmospherics.
Right. So I can fix it on this end, and it speeds things up. Most digital modes on HF are transmitted as lower sideband signals, except for JT65, JT9, FT4, and FT8, which use upper sideband.
And unfortunately, that is on the test.
It's a potential on the test. And with their emphasis on digital,
Yeah, almost certainly it's going to be that.
you're going to have a lot of digital questions. JT65, JT9, and FT8 are very effective at communication in the presence of noise and ionospheric distortion at very low signal levels.
Notice that FT4 is in the previous list, it's not in that one.
Right. FT8 narrowband digital modes can receive signals with very low signal-to-noise ratios. It's the same thing we just said, except we're splitting out FT8 now. HF packet is limited to 300 baud, and it says it's a question. I wonder if we need to tell them to pull that question. Pull that.
Yeah.
Not well suited for HF propagation conditions. VHF UHF packet is commonly used as FM or PM modulation. Why would that be? Because our radios are FMs and PMs, right? Yeah, I wonder why it would be commonly done with those. AFSK is using FM transmitters at 1200 or 9600 baud. 1200 is where I started. 9600 was, they didn't even, we didn't even dream of that at the time. Then they came out with 18 something, or no, 26. What was that from 19?
2400 was the next step up.
24?
Yeah, then we went to 48 and 96.
No, after 96.
19.2.
Yeah, 19.2, that was it. Yeah. This took 45 minutes to download one picture, and the pixels were about the size of your pinky nail. Now it's like click bang, and it's like, why is it taking so long? All right. Basis of APRS is VHF UHF packet. WSJT Suite. This is a really cool digital mode. It's a package of open source software developed by Joe Taylor, K1JT. Okay, JT65, JT9, FT8, and others. FT8 allows special types of communication. JT65 for moon bounce. That's EME you'll hear about. It's not EMP. It's not EMP, it's EME. Earth, moon to Earth. But it's really cool because if you think about it, you're sending your signal up there, and if you put your finger up there, your thumb up there, that's about the size of the moon, is a little bit bigger than your thumbnail, right? And then you're thinking about all your power's going out and spreading out and hitting that little spot, and then a little bit of that's coming back in a big fan, and how little power is coming back to the Earth. And yet, you can hear me. If you can see the moon and I can see the moon, we can communicate with Earth and Earth. It's pretty wild. Weak signal propagation beacons, WSPR, WSPR. So that's the ones where you send out the signal, send out a CQ, and you pull up the web page and it tells you where you were seen, where you were heard. Meteor scatter, MSK-144. So a meteor comes through the air. When it burns up in the atmosphere, it leaves an ionized trail behind it. An ionized atmosphere is what we bounce signals off of. So you can bounce a signal off the ionized trail behind a meteor.
But it is short-lived.
It's short. But during the Perseids, there'll be another one in a couple of microseconds. You probably could do it all night long during the Perseids.
Yes, you could.
And just not worry about it. Just keep banging it up there.
This is real geek stuff.
Real what?
Geek stuff.
It's not geek.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's mimicking the Navy SEALs without having $1 million suitcase. FT8. Oh, wait a minute. FT8 is what? It's in the WSJT.
Yes.
FT8. Digital mode capable of low signal and noise operation and transmitting on 15-second intervals. Your clock has to be right. So there's a website called Time Is. Go to Time Is, and it will update your computer clock. I send for 15 seconds, and I listen for 15 seconds. I send for 15 seconds, I listen for 15 seconds.
Unless you're being ignored.
Right, so to make a contact and log it, I send out a CQ. This is as fast as I can go. I send out a CQ, there's 15 seconds, and Dave's computer hears it, and he responds to me and with his location and my signal report. That's 2 15-second. I respond to him with my signal report for him and something else.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that's it. Goodbye. And then he sends a goodbye. In 1 minute, we have made a contact, and that's 1 minute after I hit the enter button. It's called CQ and walked away to go get my coffee cup.
It's all done.
It's done before I get back filling my coffee. That's why I call it zombie mode. But it works. But you're not sending anything useful. So there's a newer one. What did you say it was called?
JT8 call.
JT8 call. And that one's supposed to allow you to send short messages, I believe it is.
Yeah, that, Amaron uses that.
Okay. So there's all kinds of different stuff, and it's all got its uses. Okay, so transceiver audio input and output of a station configured to operate using FT8 are connected into the audio input and output of a computer running WSJTX software.
And yes, that is a plug for WSJT.
Yeah, it's free. It's open source, it's free. FT8, a common location for FT8 is approximately 14074 to 14077. For some reason, it's a question. So those numbers, these are the ones, some of the ones that you just have to memorize. When we get to the rules, you got to memorize all of them. FT8 typical exchanges are limited to call signs, grid locators, and signal reports, and that's it. If you're trying to call CQ to a specific country. I haven't figured it out, but there is a way to go CQ GB. So you're looking for Great Britain. Use 8-tone frequency shift keying to modulate the signal. Computer time must be accurate to within approximately 1 second. That's why you need time limits. 1 second. Well, it's a 15-second thing. So you've got
Your window of operation is really.
it's tight and it's quick. Yeah, and if you've got good comms with the other station, it's like bam, 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 and it's over with. And a signal report of plus 3 means the signal to noise ratio is equivalent to plus 3 decibels in a 2.5 kilohertz bandwidth. Okay, digital modes. It is not possible to receive a digital signal on the wrong sideband. So if they're on upper or lower and you're on the opposite one, you can't get it.
Yeah, digital either works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
So if you're in the wrong sideband, you
So the tone and data relationship will be inverted, i.e. the mark and space will be reversed. So if he sends a mark and then a space, you're going to get a space and then a mark if you're on the wrong sideband. Also, and that's the question, the mark and space are reversed. Also, you must be sure to have your modem or software correctly configured. That's the hardest part of digital modes. With my radio, I had a guy come over that did WSJT, and 3 YouTube videos later, we finally got the settings correct in the
Yeah,
software.
there's places you gotta go in the setup
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make it work. CID and whether your microphone's on or your speakers
Right,
on or all
right.
that sort of
So it is a bit of a pain to get it set up, but once it's set up, you're good. Correct baud rate. If you're at the wrong baud rate, they won't understand it, you won't understand them. Correct tone frequencies. Okay, so those are yellow. The mark and space reversed. You also have to be sure modem or software correctly configured for the baud rate and the tone frequencies. Okay, during digital operation, unwanted RF currents on cables can cause signal distortion in the audio transmitter, timeouts, frequent connection losses, improper transmitter operation. Example, when using Vox, it may not unkey, and we heard the story about don't do that, right? So what that is you've got RF in the shack, and it's penetrating the shield of your cable and getting onto your signal. Even the little cables in the shack between your computer and the radio, or between the radio and your microphone, or any of that, can get RF on them. And so little snap-on ferrite beads of the right composition can fix that if you have issues with it. So waterfall displays. The frequency is represented horizontally on a waterfall, and the signal strength is represented by the intensity of the image. So most of them you can set the color, but red is generally, that's the hottest signal coming in. Okay? And time is represented vertically.
Where does lightning come out at?
A line across, because the time is going up and it goes across almost straight, but because there's a bit of a time that it's out there, it's a bit of a tilt is what I normally know. So a
What
slight,
color is it?
it's just a big white line on mine. You'd think it'd be red, but
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
just
it's
a
one of
big,
those really intense signals that's just fleeting. That's what
it's
it's
just a,
Yeah.
boom, and there's a line across your screen.
And audio, you'll just hear a crash.
Audio.
Yeah, you're listening.
Oh, yeah, you'll just hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a waterfall. One or more vertical lines adjacent to a data or RIDI signal indicates overmodulation. So you'll have a signal with a little fuzzy thing, and then there'll be lines on either side of it. That's overmodulation.
And they can go extend out multiple
Yeah,
steps.
they can do that as well.
Is that on transmit or receive?
You're receiving that. Because you don't see it. I don't
You're
think.
receiving his overmodulation
Yeah.
there.
Okay, during the contact waterfall display, signals displayed as a series of lines representing a scan across the frequency range. So it depends on the radio and the display you got and the settings you have in it. You might be looking at the entire band. You might be looking at just, I don't know, a short distance above and
It's
below.
set at
Yeah.
most radios.
On most radios you can set it, but it's going to be the frequencies that are visible. As new lines are displayed, older lines are moved down or to one side, giving the impression of a waterfall flowing across the screen. We got a video of it, I believe, coming up. There we go, right there. That's a waterfall on an ICOM 7300. It's not real focused because it's done with my, I think with my cam of my phone. So we're at 7, 233, 252. And this is a signal, and it's really tight. And then this is a lower or upper, let's see, we're on lower, so it's probably a lower sideband. So there's the carrier frequencies over here, but we've suppressed it because it's lower sideband. And then this is the modulation, this strip. That's going to be a digital, a very tight digital signal. And these lines could be just interference harmonics or something, or they could be a lighter
Might be a
signal.
real weak signal.
Might be a real weak signal. So they're worth investigating. And then this is the frequency across the bottom. And then this is time. So the most recent one is going to be here, and then this is the longest one back that's on the screen.
And if you see somebody transmitting, there'll be a bright line like that when they stop, and it will
They
just
stop.
fade down the screen.
Right. So we got a little video. There we go. So see how this one's dropping down as time goes by. This is the cursor that says where we're going to look.
Come on, folks, I'll be fine. Like I told Kent, I have my 2 shots, one bourbon and one tequila.
You can see some spikes over here up at the top in yellow.
Yeah, they've got warnings
Those
and
are
a
all
lot
the
of things.
signals we can pick up.
Anyway, this is again Alpha Charlie 7 Mike Golf.
This guy's transmitting.
Time networking Alpha, Sir Mike.
And he's going to stop. Oh, well, he did earlier.
That's the noontime net, and it's now on 7284.
Moving picture. Okay, question. We should have just gone to the question. Okay, what signals are used in a computer radio interface for digital mode operation? What signals? Charlie? Everybody agree?
Yep.
Charlie. Gotta have all of those. Which of the following connections is made between a computer and a transceiver to use computer software when operating digital modes? Charlie, nobody listens to this. How are the transceiver audio input and output connected in a station configured to operate using FT8? Bravo's correct. What is an amateur radio station that connects other amateur stations to the internet? Ooh. Which of the following is a digital communications mode? Delta. What is FT8? I don't know.
Yeah. Bravo. Oh, I couldn't read it that fast.
Well, I'll give you time.
Yeah, but he took the time to actually read it.
Yeah, he read them all. Whoever said Bravo over there didn't read them all.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
read them all.
All right, which of the following is an application of APRS? Yeah. What kind of data can be transmitted by APRS? Pretty sure they didn't read all of them that time either.
I know.
Okay, what's APRS? Come on, spit it out. Oh, I stumped him. Anybody? Automatic Position Reporting System. What does the abbreviation PSK mean?
Yeah, phase shift key.
Phase
Bravo.
Shift Keying. Okay, Bravo. Which of the following is included in packet transmissions? Packet transmissions.
Delta.
Okay. What is CW? Country Western, right? Delta. Another name for Morse code transmission? That's correct. What is an ARQ transmission system? ARQ is what?
Automatic repeat request.
Okay. So which one of those would allow that? Charlie's correct.
Yeah.
All right. Which of the following operating activities is supported by digital mode software in the WSJT-X? That's what the other one. Software suite. All of them? Delta. How is direct binary FSK modulation generated? I don't think we covered that.
Yeah, we did.
We did? We did?
The key here is direct binary.
Whoa,
The other method is modulated binary.
bravo. Which of the following is a common location for FT8? Charlie? That's correct. What type of modulation is used by FT8? FT8. Is it 8-bit or 8-tone? Or is it frequency shift keying?
Alpha.
Yeah. Shift key.
Alpha. 8 tones. Okay, which digital mode is used as a low-power beacon for assessing HF propagation? Got a questioning tone alpha over there. Alpha?
Charlie.
I got a Charlie that sounded more confident, but it's probably going to be wrong. Because alpha,
You can make it sound.
alpha is the answer they want. All right, how are the two separate frequencies of a frequency shift keyed FSK signal identified?
Delta.
I heard an alpha, I think. Did I hear an alpha?
Delta.
Did somebody read alpha and then spit out alpha and then go, oops, I didn't read them all?
Yep.
Yeah, read them all.
Yeah,
Read them all, mark in space. If you're gonna make that mistake, make it here, don't make it on the test day. All right, which mode is normally used when sending a RIDI signal via FSK with an SSB transmitter?
Delta.
Delta, lower sideband.
I want to be different.
Alpha.
Well, you know I dealt with that guy.
There's always one of them, right? What part of a packet radio frame contains the routing and handling information? Routing and handling is
Charlie.
the header, because it's in front, right?
Yep.
Which of the following describes Baudot code? Baudot. We got 2 Charlies, 3 Charlies, a 5-bit code with additional start and stop bits. It's Baudot. What is the most common frequency shift for radio emissions in the amateur HF band?
Bravo.
170 hertz. Which of the following narrowband digital modes can receive signals with very low signal to noise ratios?
Bravo.
We got multiple Bravos. And it's Bravo. In an ARQ mode, what is meant by a NAC response to a transmitted packet? Yeah, see, there's the question. We didn't cover it in the slide, but Dave mentioned it. A NAC is request transmission, retransmission of the packet, not acknowledged. Request retransmission. What is another name for a WinLink remote message server?
Baker.
Gateway. Why is it important to know the duty cycle of the mode you are using when transmitting?
Bravo.
Bravo. How does forward error correction, FEC, allow the receiver to correct data errors? We're going to have a bunch of general going down with
Yeah,
this.
I think so.
These are general questions. What is the relationship between transmitted symbol rate and bandwidth?
Bravo.
Higher symbol rates, wider bandwidth. Which of the following is required when using FT8?
Bravo.
I heard something, I don't...
Bravo.
Bravo is Bravo. 1 second. Because that's the one that's got the 15-second windows. What is the standard sideband for JT65, JT9, FT4, or FT8 digital signal when using AFSK?
Bravo.
Upper. Which of the following can be a symptom of transmitted RF being picked up by an audio cable carrying AFSK data signals between a computer and a transceiver? Now, how much of that is bogus, garbage? All of that. Just ignore it. Which of the following can be a symptom of transmitted RF being picked up by an audio cable? That's all you care about.
Delta.
All. They do that a lot. There's a lot of extra verbiage in there. What could be wrong if you cannot decode a RIDI or other FSK signal, even though it is apparently tuned in properly?
No, this is Delta.
Oh, you didn't get to Delta before you screamed Charlie, huh? Delta. How do you join a contact between two stations using the PAC4 protocol?
Good luck with that.
You just gave it away, man.
Sorry.
Early.
Joining a contact is not possible, but you can listen. What is Vera? Bravo, a digital protocol used with WinLink. Everybody agree? Which of the following is characteristic of QPSK31? I got a Charlie. Is it on HF? Do we use sideband for it? Does it have forward error correcting? Has all of those.
Really?
Oh yeah. QPSK31, it is sideband sensitive because if you're on sideband, if you're on the wrong one, it doesn't matter what mode you're using, you're not going to get it. It has forward error correction, so it can't be anything but D. And the bandwidth is slightly higher than BPSK31. Read questions carefully. Okay, which type of code is used for sending characters in a PSK31 signal? PSK, what kind of code? Alpha. Varicode. Which of the following statements is true about PSK31? What about that? Does it use error correction? It's Bravo. PSK31 does not have error correction.
But it does have Veracode.
It does have Varicode, and the caps slow it down. In what segment of the 20-meter band are most digital mode operations commonly found? You got a delta. Anybody else? And that's the one right there. What symptoms may result from other signals interfering with a PACTOR or VERA transmission?
Delta.
All of those is right. What action results from a failure to exchange information due to excessive transmission attempts when using an ARQ mode? Bravo is correct. Checksum can't overflow. Which intermodulation products are closest to the original signal frequencies? I got a delta intercept point. I got a Bravo even order. Anybody want to try for the right answer?
Okay, Alpha.
Charlie. Nobody got it. The third harmonic, which is odd. Third, fifth, seventh.
3, 5, and 7 are the ones that are either the magic numbers or the ones that will hurt you the most.
Yeah.
And that's why like a 40-meter dipole.
And that's largely, a big part of that is because 40 meters isn't actually exactly 40 meters, and 15 isn't exactly 15.
Right.
It's 7 and 21.
Right.
Well, 21 is 3 times 7. The third harmonic. On what bands may automatically controlled stations transmitting RTTY or data emissions communicate with other automatically controlled digital stations? Man, you read them all that fast? Delta. 6 meter or shorter. What is required to conduct communications with a digital station operating under automatic control outside the automatic control band? Alpha is correct. Which of the following is a way to establish contact with a digital messaging system gateway station? Delta. Transmit on their published frequency. Which of the following describes a waterfall display? Frequency is horizontal, signal strength is intensity, and time is vertical. Are we sticking with Charlie? That's correct. What is indicated on a waterfall display by one or more vertical lines on either side of a data mode or RTTY signal? Overmodulation. All right. What does an FT8 signal report of 3 plus 3 mean? 2.5 kilohertz bandwidth. Which of the following provide digital voice modes? Oh, I gotta read that. Delta. Is WinLink voice?
The keyword is voice.
FT8's not. And a whisper is a beacon system that you can see where you hit. So it is those on D. Yep.
The keyword there is voice.
Yep. Which of the following describes WinLink?
Delta. Yeah, Delta.
So I heard a Charlie, a wireless network capable,
I changed it to
and I heard the Delta.
Delta.
A wireless network capable of both VHF and HF band operation? Yeah. Is it an amateur radio wireless network to send and receive email on the internet, or is it using either or? Right?
You can do
So it is
either
Delta.
one. Yes.
I just want to make sure everybody knows all the bits. So if they don't go, oh, that's it.